Before I began riding e-bikes to work, I started making my commute a bit faster with electric scooters. It's been a few years since I tried one of the original Xiaomi electric scooters that offered a fairly basic ride that helped me travel at about 11 to 13 miles per hour. It folded up well and fit into the seats of the commuter train while being fairly easy to carry. But for the past month, I've extended my scooter commute and have been riding in comfort with a new dual-tube suspension scooter all the way from my house to the train and from the train to the office. Hello everybody, this is Matthew Miller, otherwise known as Palm Solo, and thanks for visiting the Mobile with Matt YouTube channel. I hope that you enjoy this video and appreciate your consideration for subscribing or sharing my experiences with your family and friends. The folks representing NIU sent along the KQi 300X to test out for a couple of months, and it's been awesome to leave my car at home and commute all week to work without ever starting a vehicle. The KQi 300X is a dual-tube front suspension scooter that propelled my 240-pound body forward at more than 20 miles per hour. I was able to charge it up about once a week and cover that 28-mile weekly commute. Before I share some of my riding experiences, let's start off by unboxing and setting up the scooter and getting it ready to go. The new KQi 300X arrived in a box that was very descriptive of what was inside. I simply removed a lot of the packing material and then removed a bunch of the protective material that was on the scooter itself to get things set up. I lifted up the handlebar post and secured that clamp and then looked and saw what else was needed. Pretty much all it had to do was to install and tighten the 4 bolts around the handlebars, and that was good to go. The new KQi 300X is available in space gray and black with one size. NIU has several scooter and electric bike options, so if this one isn't the best fit for you, then you should check out their website and see if the company has one that fits your needs and your price better. The new scooters range from $329 for adult scooters all the way up to nearly $1,400. There's even lower price scooters for kids on the website. Some of the key specifications of the new KQi 300X are a max rider weight of 265 pounds. So with myself and my backpack, I'm right at about the limit. The scooter is pretty hefty and weighs in at just under 50 pounds, about 48.7 pounds, has a 48 volt, 608 watt ampere battery with 500 watts of motor and 1,000 watts of peak. Has a 48 volt, 608 watt hour battery with a 500 watt motor with 1,000 watts of peak power and an advertised range of 37.3 miles. Has a dual tube hydraulic front suspension with 45mm stroke range, front and rear disc brakes with regenerative braking so you can help recover some of that battery power. Extra large 10.5 inch by 2.5 inch self-healing tubeless tires is great to have. And I have a size 12 foot, so it's really nice to see it has a wide 6.5 inch deck with anti-slip silicone kind of rubber coating that easily accommodates my 2 shoes. Has pretty wide 21.3 inch handlebars with a right twist throttle and turn signals located at either end of the handlebars. The handlebar height is 48.4 inches with a deck height of 6.65 inches and nearly 3 inches of clearance under the deck and the battery. There are front and rear fenders to keep rocks and water off the main deck, and a large front halo LED headlight and a very bright taillight as well. There are also side reflectors to increase visibility and a nice bell. Has IP55 dust and water resistance, so you can get around in light rain and water, but be very, very, very careful in those conditions because braking is definitely something to worry about when it has rain and not ideal conditions. NIU also has a smartphone application that's very handy, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Controlling the scooter is fairly easy. There's a center large button below a colored dashboard, and that dashboard shows turn signal indication, headlight status, battery status, riding mode, and your scooter speed. You press the action buttons. To turn on the scooter, you simply press the button, and then you can press it again to switch between different modes. If you double press the button, it turns the headlight on or off. If you triple press the button on there, it switches the units between metric and SI units. And 5 quick presses will actually enable walk mode or pedestrian mode, where the scooter will help move forward and you don't have to propel it yourself. If you press and hold that center button, you'll turn the scooter off. Over on the right side, on the right handlebar, there are 2 buttons for the turn signal indicators, a right and a left. Simply press it to turn it on and then press it again to turn it off. I don't really know if that turn signal indicator is going to give much indication. They barely stick out around my body. They're right on the handlebars themselves, but maybe for people in front of you or something, I wouldn't really say that's a pro or a con. It's nice to have, I suppose, but I don't know how much value there really is in those turn signal indicators. When I first jumped on the scooter, by default, it started in safe mode. And I was a little bit worried because it was limited to about 9 miles per hour and I couldn't figure out how to get any faster out of the scooter. Then I learned that you have to ride it for a little bit and connect the app, and then that allows you to bump it up into regular sport mode for better acceleration and all the way up to as fast as you want to go, up to 20, 23 miles an hour. The smartphone app also allows you to customize the speeds at different levels, change that initial launch speed and more settings, maybe firmware updates and things like that. That app can also track your rides and your distances. And it's a good idea to download that app for both iOS or Android and connect it to the scooter to have that full capability. Now, riding the 3 miles to my commuter train is not usually something I do on a scooter because there's really very little sidewalks, there's no bike path, and I have to ride on the side of the roads. But given the big tires, given the larger tires, the suspension, the range, and the power of the new KQi 330X, I decided to give it a try, and I was not disappointed. I had to ride down my hill, but with the dual front and rear braking, I felt very safe and never had to stop and walk the scooter. And that wide deck was really comfortable for both shoes to fit on there and feel secure while still having nimbleness to be able to turn and cruise around. The speed was good on the route to the train station and I arrived safely. And at nearly 50 pounds, I simply carried the scooter onto the train and I stored it in the bike area. Departing the train meant that I had to carry it up 3 flights of stairs to the street level, and that did take a little bit of effort with my backpack on. It's not as heavy as most of the bikes that I ride with because mostly I ride an e-bike and those are usually in the 60 to 70, maybe even 80 pound, and getting up those 3 flights of stairs is very difficult. So a 50-pound scooter isn't unheard of and I can carry it in one hand up and down those stairs. Now on the way home, I tried to ride the scooter directly up the 13 to 15% incline into my neighborhood, but that was just too steep and I'm too heavy. So I made it just over halfway up before I had to walk up the rest of the hill. As soon as that incline reduced a little bit, I was able to jump back on the scooter. I also spent some time riding the scooter around the neighborhood, and it did very well with hills that weren't as steep and flat straights. It's a really fun scooter to ride, and the maximum capable speed is a bit faster than I'm comfortable with on the scooter, so I'm satisfied with the speed, and I never really took it all the way up to its limits for very often. There's several things I like about this scooter. The first one is the wide deck is perfect, and it feels just right for my large feet and for comfort and security. The handlebars are also at the right height. Now the handlebars and that height is not adjustable on this scooter, but that locking mechanism is very secure. And once you put it in there and you latch it on there, the scooter's not moving at all. It propels you forward very quickly and comfortably while also feeling very solid and secure. Every vehicle has some things for improvement. Now the one on this one it's pretty heavy. 50 pounds up and down the stairs is pretty heavy. Carrying it in an apartment may be pretty heavy. There's not much you can do when you have a scooter with this amount of range and features on it. You're going to end up with a heavier scooter, so there's not much that can be done. It also is a bit expensive. The new KQi 300X is available now for $1,198, which is more than I would spend personally on a scooter, but if you're in a city and you're riding the scooter everywhere, this may be a perfect deal for you. I enjoyed my time riding the new KQi 300X, and it is quite a revolutionary improvement over my OG Me scooter. Due to the size and the weight, I need to treat it the same as an e-bike for my commute, so it's not the best option for me personally, and bikes provide more speed to ride with the traffic. If you're looking for a powerful, capable electric scooter to get you around the city, then the 300X is a great option. With that 30-plus mile typical range, you may be able to ride it for a week between charging. It's a solid scooter where the capabilities, the functions, the build actually fit the price. Thanks to NIU for the opportunity to test out this scooter for a few weeks. It's nice to know there are scooter options for my commute that are powerful, secure, and well built. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and share, interact with me here, and stay tuned for more coverage of e-bikes, wearables, and other mobile technology. And may the mobile force be with you.